Welcome back to the DNaz channel. Today, we have killed the Jalisco New Generation cartel leader known as El Mencho. His real name is Nemesio Acejuera Cervantes, and known as El Mencho, and he was known for his propaganda, making videos about violence, right? Drugs, a lot of trafficking with cocaine, methamphetamines, and along with a bunch of fentanyl, like really known for trafficking boatloads and boatloads, hundreds of thousands of pounds of fentanyl into our countries, right? For anybody that doesn't think that this is a good thing, you're crazy, okay? We need to be capturing cartels. This needs to be done because, like, they're killing our children. They're killing it's the youth we have to worry about, right? The next generation. These people are more powerful than the army sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people have so much power. We can't let drug lords run countries. We cannot do that, right? So the president of Mexico is President Scheinbaum, right? And he's just advising that any Americans in Mexico, that they stay inside, right? If you are American, it's a terrifying time for Americans right now, because if you're in Mexico, because you don't know what can happen, right? I feel bad for anybody out there that has to worry. You could see there's videos of people, they say you can hear smoke, you hear sirens, you hear all bunch of shit, because over in, well, let's say the killing happened in an attempted raid in Guadalajara, right? So there were 6 killed, 2 arrested on the Jalisco side, and then there were 3 members of the armed forces that were wounded, okay? So now they are responding by blowing up trucks, lighting trucks on fire. They are capturing Americans, holding people hostage, right? This is how they're responding. And this shows exactly how they are. So we need to take stand, and I'm glad. And I hope our president in America, I hope that he helps Mexico very much. And I'm sure he has in this operation. I'm sure he has. But I hope that they get support, because now is the time. Now is the time for the Mexican army to take back control. You know what I'm saying? If any time, it's now, when they are retaliating with such violence while they are trying to show their anger and frustration, right? People act stupidly with anger and frustration, right? So it's a good time for the Mexican leadership and President Scheinbaum to take back control of his country, because they have a lot of control, and it's hard. It's hard to manage these drug lords and these cartels, because they are very powerful, and they don't care about human life. They do not care at all about human life, and it's sad, right? So, not to mention, El Mencho was a police officer. He was a former police officer, right? So you got this guy who was supposed to be upholding the law that just turned, right? And now you're terrorizing people. And I'm sure he has kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to your family, the things that you do. What are you doing? You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. This is pure evil in the world. Money. This is about money and drugs, and it is pure evil. We need to stop this, and we need to take people out. So he has other members. I think his brother. Oh no, I'm sorry. His son. His son was Ruben Acejuera Gonzalez, and he was actually captured and extradited, right? So then he has his brother-in-law, Abigail Gonzalez Valencia, who is a logistical leader of this gang. So, um, yeah, they are going to keep trying to terrorize. They are going to keep trying to come back and attack. So we need the army out there. We need support. And for you armed forces out there, for you veterans and all you people, thank you. Thank you for trying to fight this battle because it's crazy. I mean, these drugs are coming into our country. They're killing our children. Um, they're turning whole cities into zombies. You ever been to certain places? I mean, like look at San Francisco, like the homeless problem is not just, oh, people are homeless. No, that's a drug problem, drug and alcohol problem. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. So, um, we have Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara is where they are setting fire to these cars. They're setting up barricades to try to stop the army. Um, they're trying to do all these things. They're trying to scare people. They want to terrify people because they don't want people going against them. And they think they're invincible. They're not invincible. Okay, they're not invincible. We just really need to work together. We need to work together. So I hope that um America gives it support and we get these guys, you know what I mean? We need to take them down. There's no need to have cartels running countries, and it affects our country a lot. If you're in America, it affects our country a lot. So just know that. You might not see it if you don't have friends that are affected by drugs. You know what I mean? But it's not only that. There are women going missing, children going missing. I mean, these people, this is not a small time cartel. This is not a small time problem, right? We have real violence and a real evil that is lurking here. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Right now, it just happened yesterday, and so that means the violence is only gonna get worse, right? Um, but hopefully the Mexican army responds with great force. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to really lock in and just say, fuck it, it's war. Because it is war, like it is. We need to go to war, unfortunately. I mean, we spend our time as Americans, like when we spend our time in war, we spend our time overseas all the time. This is our homeland. We need to fight here and now. You know what I mean? Well, you see this all the time. They take out leaders. Oh, leader capture, leader this. Well, after you do that, just take out the whole thing. Like what? It's not like we don't have the power to do it. We have the power to do it. So, I hope we get it done. I really hope we get it done. Seeing all the, all the money that's going into the drug war right now is great, and I think it needs to happen. I don't care what people think or say. I don't care what people think or say because these are our children. This is our family members. These are our loved ones that are being affected. When you look on the street, when you go to your cities, your urban areas, and you see people looking like zombies and all strung out, and you know what I mean, and you could see the increase of homeless people. You see that I don't care what nobody says. You just see more disaster and more people walking about their lives with like no purpose, right? And this is an effect from drugs, right? Drugs coming into our country, and this is a plan that these people have. These people want to harm us. You know what I'm saying? They want to make us dumb and sleeping under drugs. This goes back into ancient times. You can read old Chinese texts, old, you know what I mean? Old Roman texts. You can read things where people have always used drugs. The kings back in the day, they used drugs to control a nation, but especially it's definitely documented in China for opium, right? Opium use was always used to keep people under a slumber, right? Fentanyl is the same thing. It's an opioid, right? It's used to keep people under a slumber, to sleep, so that they can go while you're just sleeping. they can just sit there and take everything. That is what they want. That is the plan. That is how that it's an easy way to control, So when people think that drugs aren't a problem, no, drugs are a huge problem. We need to fight that, right? And thank you to all the veterans out there fighting it. Thank you to all of our armed forces. But yes, now is the time. Now is the time to lock in. Okay. President Scheinbaum in Mexico needs to really look at this response, because this response is disgusting. You know what I mean? Oh, you killed our leader. So let's ride through the streets. Let's kill innocent people. Let's light their cars on fire. Let's do the craziest dumb shit. Let's take Americans hostage, right? It was the Mexican army that took them out, but let's take Americans hostage. This is what they're doing, right? It's disgusting. You know what I mean? That's how you act towards your own people. That's what you do to your own people. You know what I mean? So we don't want these people running the world. We don't want these people running countries. And these cartels are running countries. Not to mention, their drugs are coming out of the Amazon rainforest, right? Certain cartels down there, they're using a lot of different places. They're deforesting places, right? They're cutting down mass fields of trees, harming the earth, and they're enslaving people while they do it to work their farms. You know what I'm saying? So you got indigenous tribes being taken, killed, enslaved to work their, and our rainforest being destroyed. And same thing in Mexico. How much land in Mexico do you think this cartel destroyed just to grow their drugs and to make factories? Right? Wow, great. That's what we want our land being used for. That's why we want the earth to be destroyed, for drugs. No, we don't. We don't. We need to fight this. This is crazy, So when I just saw the news that he was killed, I was like, good. But then when I saw the response that there's chaos unfolding, that's disgusting. It makes me want to go there myself. I wish I was there. You know what I mean? Like, that's disgusting. Screw them. Don't be capturing women and children like it's their fault that you are doing illegal things, knowing that the law can come get you one day and they kill your leader, and you want to cry about it. Like, you know what's going to come. When you enter the drug world, there's only one way out. That's dead or in jail, right? So yeah, let's act like, let's just be the scum of the earth, and let's go murder innocent people just because, this is their reaction. This is what they do. This is what they do. So we all need to encourage our governments to fight against these cartels. Because if we just keep letting them run wild the way they have been, it's only going to get worse. There could become a day where there is no more Mexican army, and it is just cartel leadership. It's a very fine line, right? The amount of power they have is crazy. Let's just go over some of the crimes they do. Drug trafficking, all right, mainly cocaine, methamphetamines, and huge amounts of fentanyl. When I say huge amounts, I mean hundreds of thousands of pounds. That's not a joke, okay? You got extreme public violent displays, including massacres, beheadings, public acts against security forces to project power. You're just going to behead people in the street? That's what we want? No, that's never what we want. This ain't the Wild West, right? You got extortion and kidnapping, and then their propaganda, producing videos to intimidate people, right? Extorting businesses. Like, great, so they get to film it too and just get their way with it. Nah, forget that. I'm glad we're taking them out. I'm glad, So, I'm glad if y'all came here to my live, like and subscribe. That's always much appreciated. And yeah, spread the word, share this, spread the word. Let's get our armies together. Let's get our countries and our presidents and our leaders on top of the idea that now's the time. Let's take control back. We need to take control back. And if you're in Mexico, and please, get on the right side, stand up, because that courage is what it takes. I know it must be scary and terrifying to have people that have such power that will come take your family and your children. It has to be terrifying. So, you know, for people that aren't there, they need our support. They need our support, and we need to be there. And, we need to encourage our president to help President Scheinbaum. We need to encourage Trump to help him, which I'm sure he is. He is. That's what he's doing. And people are really hating on that guy. And I can't say he's perfect. I'm not trying to say anything, but at least, when push comes to shove, when the time's right, we need to put other problems aside when there's a great war to be had, right? We need to put other problems aside and just be like, okay, we need to support in cleaning up our streets and cleaning up our country. We need to support that, you know, because I see it all over America. I look around the streets and I just see people, you just see people on drugs everywhere. You just see horror. It's disgusting. It's disgusting what's happened to my home city. You know, I see it and I hate it. So yeah, let's do it. Let's clean up, and we'll see you next time on the DNaz channel.